Greetings, I am Lies.
And I am Scandal.
And let's play a game together.
All
Man,
right.
I am still confused from that last episode. I'm just like, it was
Hey.
I hope that was really just like Iris's idea of make or break and there's still options.
Right?
Because I think we could like someone, but I don't think we want to start a relationship with, I am already completely unsure of my experience of I'm in love with you.
Right?
I feel like that's a weird time to start a relationship.
Your language is really awkward.
I feel like usually you start your relationship when you think you have feelings for them, rather than, I've had feelings for them for quite some time, and now they have developed into love.
Hi.
Unless they were going for that weird sort of like comedy thing of going, I have just realized I'm in love with them.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, I'll read through it a few more times, trying to parse all the curly cues and swirls and swooshes, although that doesn't clear my confusion of the whole matter. Oh, look! Something else! You're crocheting something! Those are huge stitches, and I love them. Soon, Francine looks up from her knitting, curious about the letter as well, although she seems to already have an idea of what it is. Why did they send it? They had to send it here because they didn't know where I lived. Got it. Okay.
Right. I suppose it's about that time, isn't it?
Do you get other workers scalped?
Oh, dear.
Huh?
Oh, dear.
Time for that fellow to make another attempt at wooing me.
Oh, wait.
What?
He's into you? Okay, you might be thinking of something else.
Right.
Double, huh?
Rather, at wooing my beloved Funplex.
I mean, if he's writing to me, I don't have much sway over your funplex, so...
Let me guess. Deco Nami of Deco's Palace sent you a fancy invitation with all sorts of fancy writing.
That's accurate. Yes.
Slow head nod.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. It's not the first time. He invited my dear Frederick and I over in 1980X to talk about selling the Funplex, and we turned him down flat.
Right, but why would he send a letter to me? I don't own anything.
Right? Then, in 1990X, when home game consoles were poised to take back the arcade crowd, he suggested we sell. We turned him down. Now it's 20XDX and he's at it again.
I love XDX. That makes me happy.
A gentleman would know when to quit, but he's got tenacity, and I can't fault him for that.
Why would... I want to ask why he's talking to us.
Yes.
Like, not why he's interested in here, but why he's talking to us.
That is weird.
Why would a big-name arcade operator like Dekonami care that much about us? We're small time. No offense.
Come now. If anyone should be offended, it's you. Calling yourself small time? Lies, dear. You put so much work to make my little arcade soar.
It's true, and I've gotten basic wages for it. Oh.
I sigh. I bet that's why he's knocking on our door again. We're thriving, and that's what lured him back in.
But why is he talking to me?
Like Gruyere cheese in the mousetrap.
So, wait. Are we the cheese or the trap?
My, oh, my.
Aha! That depends on how clever you are, my dear.
Right, so I'm the cheese. Although I prefer to be a nice mozzarella. Okay, that's adorable.
Honestly, I don't know. I've never had Gruyere cheese.
I have.
Oh, what's it like?
God,
Gruyere?
it's hard to explain cheeses.
Oh.
I just think it's like
Dang.
some of them have like really rich flavors, some of them are really soft and creamy. Like Gruyere, I don't remember in the specific moment exactly what it was like. I just remember having a positive memory of it.
Okay.
In the same way, like, Havarti is sort of like a mild cheese, but like dill Havarti is pretty good because I really like dill flavors. A lot of cheeses that have herbs in them, I've really enjoyed. You've really enjoyed herbed goat cheese with
I
me.
have. I really like it.
I have introduced my friend to weird cheeses because coming from California, there's a lot of cheese there. I was gonna say, and so my dad was always, what laymen would call weird cheese.
Right.
And we could never afford it when I was at my mom's house.
Right.
But with my roommate here and I, there has been an experience of going, hey, this is on super mega discount. You should try this weird cheese.
Right?
And my friend going, some of these are good.
Some of them are really good. Like goat cheeses. I like a lot of goat cheeses.
I like a lot of feta too, and then some of the other soft cheeses that we've had as well, or like sheep cheese has been pretty good.
Yeah.
I was just say, and then some of the other like softer cow cheeses, but also cheeses with herbs.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, big deal. Right, so not mozzarella. Cheese types aside, do you want me to ignore the invite then?
Oh, heavens, no.
So we're supposed to invite you then.
Contrary to what people say about the fellow, he's very much a man of his word. I always accept his invitation, always hear him out. It's only fair and proper.
Francine, he didn't invite you.
I know.
Oh, alright. I thought he was like the arcade scene's greatest evildoer.
I was
Just be sensible.
Kind of actually wondering about that, where I was like, that's actually what so confused me when I was like, we're gonna be ending here, and I was like, wow, we had all that build up basically with Deco Nami and nothing happened.
It's still going. Yay!
Yay!
I also still hope that we have a chance to date someone if we want to, because it's not like we don't like people. It's just like
I don't know them well enough.
One, like, I don't feel like Lies has had any particular feelings on them. So the thing is I've actually analyzed this a little bit. They've actually shown Lies having preferential feelings towards people in a negative kind of way of going, I really am not a big fan of Queen Bee, or Gavin seems pretty stingy or stuck up or whatever.
Right.
And that kind of thing. And then having some positive feelings of like people. So it'd be real easy to tell who Lies was thinking about, or if it Lies, and you could even change it as you changed your behavior towards characters. Lies could be valuable going, damn, I spent a lot of time thinking about Gavin lately.
Right.
If you're spending a lot of time with Gavin, or if you're actively spending a lot of time with anyone, they could put that in there to let you know that your character's interested, but it doesn't feel like they're writing a character. Really?
A friend, they're writing a dating experience for
Except
you.
they are writing a character, because this game's supposed to work perfectly solid without dating at all. Because again, you can choose no dating whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, I don't know if there's enough story to carry this and make it interesting if dating's not a possibility at all.
Right.
But
That's a bit grandiose, no? Certainly plenty of rumors of his questionable methods abound, but that's all they are. Rumors.
I don't like his business practices, and I think he's a jerk, but he does a good job.
Pretty much.
Like, he's not a bad person, and it's not like he's horrible or like cheating. It's just he's really want more capitalism than I am.
Yeah, pretty much. Politeness should be met with politeness. We should always descend to be better, even when they stab us in the eye. I should be better than you, which is ridiculous because they
That's
will
a
stab you in
really
the eye.
democratic belief of going, but I have to be better than you, even if I lose.
And you're like,
No, you don't.
You really don't. That's how you conduct proper business, and that's what the Funplex is all about. Because that is not true. Especially under capitalism, people do not play fair in the slightest.
And they can't play fair for the most part if they want to win.
And you're absolutely right.
Now, there are some opportunities and some options in some fields where it does come out that way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very rarely that if you want to win, you don't step on anybody.
Yeah.
Francine moves to rise from her seat near the ticket desk, but pauses, leaning heavily on the glass countertop while looking strained. Are you alright?
She was going to go. That was the thing.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, oh, you got the card. I figured out what was going on. I was going, all right, well, I'm going to take care of this again. And now she can't go, and then we'll go in her place. That's what's going on.
But
Okay.
it was written to us. Literally written to us.
I don't know.
I moved to help, but she waves me away. Like it said, lies scandal on it.
I know. I'm just...
And sits back down.
Oh, don't worry about little old me. I just stood up too quickly. That's all. Just out of breath.
If we have to watch her die, I'm gonna be angry.
But, Lies, I think it'd be best if you go. In my stead.
Francine, you literally weren't invited. I mean, I hate to tell you that. I mean, I don't want to sound controversial. Your name's not on the thingy.
Which sort of undercuts this moment, actually, because you're just like, Francine, you don't even know. Deco Nami has removed you from the equation.
Also, we're not saying anything about it, which is weird. You'd think that we would mention it. Additionally...
Or it's just you're trying to be polite. Sometimes when people go, I completely assume, and you go, I will just let you continue believing that because...
That's fine. If you showed up without me, that'd be fine anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Me? It's literally got my name on it, but I mean, me?
Let's be serious now. These old bones aren't as spry as they once were.
How old are you supposed to be, dear?
I don't know.
'Cause...
I've known people in their 70s and 80s who are still running around and they feel great and they're fantastic. People who are even lifting weights.
So part of my extended family was, and it's... So give me a second, because her name sounded weird when I first learned it too, was Grandma Potty. Which it's Potty, like Grandma Potts, but they just called her Potty.
Uh-huh.
And so for me, I was like, Potty. But, like, apparently everyone just thought of it as Potts. Anyway, so my first stepdad, his grandma's name was Grandma Potty. And she was actually, like, she was his grandma, so she was in my great-grandma range, right?
Wow, nice.
And she was, like, 95 and living on her own and taking care of a house and still, cooking dinner and doing stuff. And, like, I know everyone's, like, abilities aren't the same and stuff like that at all, but I've known a lot of very capable older women, and she doesn't seem like she's in her 80s or 90s, so I'm wondering if she's sick, because her face, I'm getting more 50s or 60s.
Yeah, I can see
Based
that.
on lines and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know.
These old bones aren't as spry as they once were. And I think you'll have a good time there.
I think this would hit better also if we knew more about her, which we've actively not want to know more about her, so I don't know.
And then we shut her down. Oh, how dare you talk about your sex life? I mean, it's fine. And I think you would have a good time there. Well, an interesting time, at any rate.
I mean, does he offer food? I like food. I'll look my dapperest for the villainous gentleman. You can count on me. I'll represent the Funplex. Shouldn't Gavin go? He outranks me. I mean, that's a good one, except for, again, it's addressed to us. So we can take Gavin with us, because it also says there's, a guest.
There's a guest we can take, so we can take Gavin.
This feels a really weird follow-up to the actual letter itself, unless, again, we're just trying to pander to her and be polite, which doesn't feel like our personality.
Nope, but that's why I'm like, wow, that really undercut your moment, game. Good job. The writing, a little misrepresented stuff
All
there.
right, I think I'm going to go with playful, because she was just stressed out.
Okay.
I was just say that sounds reasonable to me, kind of thing. Of going, I don't know at all that I could handle the Funplex, but you just were like, my health, I can't function. Well, let's do this is the best I can get to cheer you up.
Okay.
And Liza's very cheer people up. I'll look my dapperest for the villainous gentleman. Then I shall don my Sunday's best to meet the mustache-twirling ruffian of the arcade legend with pride, which of course she said that isn't what he is.
Yep.
But
It's not that upscale, dear. No matter what glitz Deco Nami favors, they shall They still sell cheap beer by the pitcher and rarely scrape gum from under the tables.
I mean, some even fancy casinos be like that too.
Yeah, it's true.
So go there and turn him down? I mean, I can't accept because it's not my arcade.
Right.
I got it.
Mm-hmm.
The slowness of a response is a bit concerning.
I trust you to make the right decision for everyone.
I sold it for $5 million, so we're each getting $750,000, which I think is an all right split. Except for you own this place, so we're not getting that at all.
Yeah,
Oh.
that's not how that works. Nope.
Which is to not sell the Funplex, right?
But I don't feel that's my call to make anymore, dear.
Are you
You're
saying
giving
you're
up.
really senile? Like, you seem like you're just depressed and detached, dear. I want to know more about your story.
What?
And really, if you really are this, like, yes, with the Funplex doing whatever it is, Gavin's running it. Like, you're getting a more and more complex story as this goes on, of going, you seem like you're trying to be joyfully detached, and now you're being more seriously detached. Are you dying? Do you think you're dying? Or are you just, like, experiencing deep depression of, there's no spark here now that my husband's gone? And I don't know what else to do with my time and myself,
I don't know.
Like, if not this, then what? That's weird.
Maybe you haven't noticed, but I spend most of my time at home these days. Or napping. Or napping at home.
Okay.
The Funplex isn't really about me. Not anymore. It's so much more than Francine's Arcade Funplex now.
I mean, if it was still floundering, would it feel more like it was yours?
It's about you. It's about your co-workers. It's about all our regulars. You've made me realize that. And I'm thankful.
And I'm
We've
gonna go die.
taken this away from you, and you're glad for that? You were happier with it being for and about you because it was yours, and now you've made me realize this isn't my place or my thing anymore, even though it was my dream, my idea, and I own it?
And I'm like, this just sounds sort of like, by the way, I'm dying or I'm suicidal because my body is fucking falling apart.
And I mean, the depression sounds real. Like,
Yeah.
all I do is sleep. I'm not engaged in anything anymore. Going, my dear, what's going on? And I feel like we would do caretaking for her because we've done it for everyone.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like, holy shit, bro. This is your dream as well as mine. Your kingdom is mine to rule, but seriously,
I wasn't trying to take over your home, Francine.
I feel like I know it's neutral, but that's really what I would want to say.
No, that be what Lies wants to say, or Lies wants to say.
No, that's what I mean, though. I was just saying, like, this is your dream as well as mine doesn't sound as sincere and complete as I wasn't trying to take over your home, Francine. Like, I wasn't meaning to push you out the door. And I feel like Lies would feel that, going, this was you. You interviewed me. This is your dream. You built this thing with your husband. What are you talking about? Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get, I'm just...
I wasn't trying to take over your home, Francine. Like, that sounds so weird. I'm going, you've made me realize I don't belong in the place I set up anymore. It's not about or for me. So if it wasn't successful, would it be more what you want? Will it be more about you? Excuse me,
What?
wait. Do you want to run, like, an arcade for people that are more, I was going to say that you relate to more, or
That's
what?
fine.
I'm just like, holy shit, bro.
I...
If I gave the impression that I was trying to usurp you, I'm just happy to be here, Miss Francine. I'm happy to have found a place where I feel I belong, where I'm doing something that matters. That's all.
Oh, you're a peach, dear. But times are always changing. I'm an old fuddy-duddy, stuck in her ways. Maybe the time has come to change how the Funplex does things.
Okay, my dear,
Wait,
you sound
what?
like you have real low self-esteem.
What is going on? Suddenly Francine going, I am watching you make changes and I fucking hate it, and so the only way that I could figure out to not get in your way, because it's clearly being successful, was
to
by
remove
basically
myself.
And I've started napping more because I'm depressed and going, why am I so angry at you making changes?
And I just don't feel like I should engage because it's successful like it's supposed to be. But you seemed like you were, you weren't very engaged before, but you seemed like you were having more fun. And this doesn't feel like hey, I'm moving on to other things. This feels like, well, I have no purpose anymore. That's what this feels like. And that is weird as hell.
Whoa, that's dark. We're almost back to the heyday of 1980X, thanks to the changes you've made, so I won't say you can't decide to sell. If it's a change you think we need, do it.
Meaning, if you sell, we'll still all be employed here, but you won't be involved
At
at all
all.
anymore. But I guess that will give you your retirement. And if you don't have any money right now, but all our jobs will essentially stay the same, and this doesn't feel like your dream anymore anyways, that's a hell of a decision, lady. That is a lot to dump on us right all at once.
That's also just like, yep, and then I have no point and no purpose to my life, and it's time for me to move on and sort of sit myself out and just quietly die in a corner.
Because also she has
Fuck!
no other dreams, no other ambitions, nothing else she's talked about, and she just looks sad and like she's not included. And it's weird.
What? Please keep an open mind.
Alright, well, how much money do you want to retire? 10 million? 30 million?
I don't...
I would need to know. Francine sighs deeply, looking more tired than usual. Okay, I am looking at those weird, tiny, lower budget indie games a lot harder now. We recently played a dating game called Meeting in the Flesh, and while it is horror, and while it absolutely has a lot of, it's not horror, it's just horrific, if you will, because it's not scary. It just has a lot of, strong thematic horror elements. It's so sensitive and aware in some places compared to this, it frustrates me.
But also, okay, I wouldn't go that far, because the thing is that story is far more simple and far more contained. This is much longer, and...
This is much bigger, and again, we're not going to spend hardly any time with each of these individual characters.
And that's sort of the frustrating part. Plus also at the same time, too, so what starts happening, I feel like, so sometimes why smaller series are more successful is that they are brief and they let people basically envision whatever they want.
Except for that one wasn't successful at all, as
I
far
know,
as I can tell.
but I'm talking about in general for stories.
More accessible,
More
yes.
accessible,
Short
right?
stories are harder to fuck up.
Yeah, longer stories are easier to fuck up, / they have to bring in usually harder things, and also, honestly, the fact that we were having even these conversations, I think, in some ways, is actually way more successful than something going, hi, I didn't overstay my welcome, and I was here, and I gave you the warm fuzzies, and then I walked away. But that's also depending on what you want to do for your day.
It is meaningful that we're having these conversations, but it also feels hollow because we can't engage in them.
I know!
It feels a lot like Lily's Garden of going, and here's this really thoughtful, sensitive thing about, basically having a failed pregnancy.
Right?
And wanting to be a mom and having it never happen. And then poof, we're back to, what flowers do we choose? And I'm vapid.
Yeah.
This feels like it's being glossed over and sprung on us as well.
Right?
More tired than Francine sighs deeply, looking more tired than usual. I didn't mean to say that this game is a bad game. I'm not having as much fun with as many random things are being sprung on us, and it's kind of frustrating because I've had a really good time with this game for the most part. And this, following the other sort of Iris thing, is a little bit hard on me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, I get you.
Right.
It's only afternoon, and I'm already worn out. Haven't even done anything but sit here and knit all day. Okay, so there is actually a thing they talk about for individuals who are getting older, and I hate to say it that way, but I don't know how else to talk about it. Based off of what I've seen and what I've understood in regards to is that if you don't remain active, whether that's moving around, whether that's being physical, whether that's basically keeping yourself up. The reason why I know stories about people who are in their 70s, 80s, and 90s who feel fantastic and great is because they're still moving. Francine is probably tired because
she's not moving.
And it's not but she could also be sick.
I was gonna say, and it's not necessarily even exercise. It's just a level of movement.
That's why I said moving.
Right. I would say one of the important things that I learned, again, when I was working my first job in a nursing home, there was this experience of talking about how as your body gets older, like we're extremely adaptive creatures, and we know that, right? Like our bodies will start to adapt to whatever we do to them, right? And that as we get older, they will adapt to whatever level of sedentariness we do.
Right.
And so they'll start providing less energy as we use less energy. And so the way to get more energy, is to get more movement, have more activities, and demand that when you're tired, you keep moving, and your body will go, oh, it doesn't matter that I'm old, I'll give you more energy. Again, unless you're sick.
Which also kind of, I don't know, I'm having also this weird thing too where people also talk about it like,
I mean, she's also the oldest character in the game, so this is a single piece of representation, so it's harder to process and reference the whole world.
Right.
I'll say, knitting takes a lot of concentration. That's not nothing. If you're feeling pooped, you could take a few days off, go home, get some rest.
There's also the thing too, so what I feel like is going on is that Francine is lonely and isolated. So you guys, there's a thing that I myself have done, and I have seen people talk about it, and it happens, I believe, honestly, also with older people who basically get isolated or stuck in their rest homes or whatever else. Where do people go, God, the only thing you can talk about is this one thing. God, they're just so obsessed with this thing, or they're really up and unhappy, or they're really depressed all the time. They just can't get out of this thing. And it's like they are stuck in an environment that is tearing them down. They are stuck in an environment where every single day their health is literally the conversation. So what starts happening to people, like it does with, like, say right now, even for me, where I've noticed with COVID, when you're stuck in a depressive loop, that is all you can talk about. I am depressed. We'll do something else. But I am depressed. But I have the depression. And I can't do anything because of the depression.
There can also be an experience of just being stuck in a limited environment where you're only exposed to the minds that are around you and whatever they're thinking about. And so in the case of being, like, say, mostly around myself, and myself mostly being around my friend, because we live together and there's only, there's no one you're supposed to be around because of COVID.
Right.
And we do carefully visit some people, for sure. I mean, and we definitely have people that we talk to online and over the phone and stuff.
Right.
But there is this experience of going, you get kind of stuck in an echo chamber sometimes.
Right.
Of there aren't any new thoughts or ideas unless you deliberately go out and get them. And that happens really bad when you're isolated, and especially when you're isolated and you're older, if you don't use technology, if you don't get out, if you don't get your mind out of your head sometimes, Anyway, this is kind of a really, really sad thing to suddenly throw in and going, do we need to be worrying about Francine? And we've had very little opportunity to interact with her process or her struggle during this game.
All right, well,
anyway,
in the end,
on that note,
thank you very much, though, everybody, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and also share our videos if you're having a good time with us. Please also feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi or our Patreon. We've got some links in the description down below. And I have been Scandal.
And I have been Lies.
And it was great playing with you.
Bye.
Bye.